My name is Sam Wong, and I'm from the admissions office. This is the third year that we run this step-by-step guide, and we believe this is very useful for those who are attending or are trying to apply for HKBU. So, guess this is pretty much it. I'm just removing a few more AI. And again, participants, we will share the recording with you. So we appreciate that you will attend in person. All right. Wonderful. So thank you so much. I shall let this webinar begin. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sam Wong from the admissions office, and today we will talk about the step-by-step guide to HKBU admissions. If you are here today, I assume that you are here because you're interested in HKBU and you plan to apply. So I wouldn't spend too much time on introducing the university, but focusing on how you can excel your application. But before I start, I still have to give you a quick introduction of HKBU. So the medium of instruction is English unless otherwise specified. So I say this because there are a handful of, actually not handful, just 3 programs that require Chinese proficiency, which includes Chinese medicine, Chinese language and translation. And our film and TV might have some programs, some subjects that are taught in language that is not English, which is exempted by the university. So other than that, everything else is taught in English. That is why English is the medium of instruction, but not Chinese. Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to say, in case you have questions, there is a Q&A at the end. So we will take questions at the end. And also, this webinar is tailor-made for non-local, non-mainland students. So all the information I'm going to share is applicable to non-local, non-mainland students. I have colleagues who join this session. So if you have any questions specifically to joining this session, you can still send it to us, and my colleague will be able to address that. All right, back to HKBU at a glance. So we offer over 40 different majors by 6 of our faculties and schools. We also offer extensive opportunities for student exchange and research and internship, which is a great way to prepare our students on top of the quality education to prepare our students for the ever-changing world and also to find a job in a competitive market in the city of Hong Kong. We do offer on-campus accommodation, and during your study, international students are able to take up part-time jobs, and that is why students take up part-time jobs and also internship when it is available. And after graduation, students may apply for a visa extension for up to 24 months. And during that 2 years time, they are able to look for jobs. And if they can secure a permanent job at the end of that 2 years time, then they'll be able to apply for permanent residency after they have spent 7 consecutive years in Hong Kong. So that's a quick glance of our university. But if you ask me at the end of the day, HKBU is different because we are a community and a family. And I believe if you have attended any of our webinar before, you will get that idea that our students are from different places in the world and they form a close-knit community here. I love how they have fun, hang out across discipline and across years. And if you are looking for a family away from home and a community within a big city like Hong Kong, then HKBU should be one of your options. So moving on, I will start talking about today's topic, like how do you apply, step-by-step guide of applying, right? What happened is timing is a very important and crucial element here. There are a few rounds of applications, okay? At the moment, we're in the early round, which start from the beginning of October and closes on 16th of November. After the main round, after the early round, there is the main round, which will follow right after and will be closing on 1st of February, and the extended round all the way until May. Now, the early round is significant because we will read all the applications submitted during the early round after the deadline, which means if you are applying, whether you're applying on 2nd of October or 16th of November, as long as you submit a complete application by 16th of November, we will read them all together collectively. And we will kind of expedite that review process, and we will start giving out offer, which could be a firm or conditional offer with or without a scholarship as early as in late December. So if you are seeking scholarships, if you are interested in being considered for admission scholarships, then you are strongly recommended to apply during the early round because you want to be the first batch standing in front of the faculty and go, I am really good. I'm very deserving. Look at me. You want to be in that batch. Okay. Having said that, it doesn't mean that you have absolutely no chance being a competitive student to get a scholarship in the main round, because you know how it works. Right? We give away a scholarship, someone might decline, and it will come back to us and we will reallocate. However, you are still strongly recommended to apply in the early round if you are looking for scholarship, because from the past 2 years, from the past 6 years, basically, we have built a good name for giving out generous scholarship. So during the early round, we have already received a pretty significant amount of quality applications, and there could be a waiting list for scholarship right away. So if you apply later, you will join the waiting list later, maybe, but that will be a pretty long waiting time. So again, you are encouraged to apply in the early round if you are seeking scholarship. We have the extended round all the way until May, which is a great option for many who decide to go somewhere else later, or if the result came out differently as they expected, or if they did not get what they want in the ED in US or in UK, whatever. However, that is an absolute deadline, 31st of May, because we want to reserve sufficient time for all the international students to prepare for their visa applications, which is extremely important and essential for international students to study in Hong Kong. So do remember this timeline from 1st of October until end of May next year. So timing is very important. And then the second most crucial component will be the programs. I know, of course you know about the programs. That's why you want to apply to HKBU. But do you really? Now, these are the majors that we offer to international students, right? But some of the programs, they are on broad-based admission, as highlighted here. What does it mean? It means that you do not apply to a specific concentration or major. Instead, you apply to year one broad-based program. And in your first year, you can take subjects from different subjects. You can take subjects from different majors or concentrations. And then you can identify whether this is really what you want, or whether you're really good at it, or whether it is what you thought it would be. And at the end of your first year or in your second year, so for some program, in your first semester, anyway, after enrollment, you'll be able to decide and declare your concentrations or majors. So you might be confused. So I want to show you by showing you our website. I will go to the website with you together. Can you see my website? I think so, right? You can see the website. Now, if you come to our website, and with my colleagues, or maybe not, I hope that you can go to our website, and then you can scroll down to programs, find the programs. For example, you are interested in computer science. You won't see computer science, right? Because it's under science. It is one of the concentration under Bachelor of Science. So if you would like to study computer science, you will apply to year 1 of Bachelor of Science. This is how it goes. If you are not sure, then you can try international qualifications, year 1, and then you can try pure science. And oops, oh, science. You can type science, and then it will show you all the science program where you can see computer science in one of them. Okay, so try that. But that is why I want to show you how, oh, and also maybe back to BBA. That is the two, oops, that's the two most popular program. I'll clean this up. BBA, international qualifications. So if you go to BBA, you will also see all these different majors, including finance, economics, human resources management. And if you are interested in any one of them, then you should apply to year 1 BBA, but not economics or finance. So it is very important that you choose the right program and the right year. Okay, so broad-based admission for many of the programs, and it's actually shown on the website as well. So you can tell, oh, let me go back to the website so that you can see how you can find it on the website. So this is the Bachelor of Business program. And you will see that admitted students can investigate different concentration by completing a common year 1 curriculum and must declare their concentration by the end of year 1. That's how you know. Okay, so look for this. When you are interested in certain programs, read through the website first before you jump into applying. That is also key information. Always study the information first before jumping to the application. Now I'll go back to programs. So identify the right programs. So everyone will have a choice, two choices. So if you open the application, you can input, you can select 2 programs at your choice. And you will only be considered by your second choice if you are being rejected by your first choice. I'll go again. For example, your first choice is business. Your second choice is social sciences, okay? You will only be considered by social sciences if you are rejected by business. So your second choice is really only your plan B. You will not be considered by both programs, both choices simultaneously, okay? So your first choice should be something you really, really want to get into. And once you are given an offer by your first choice, you can either accept that or you will have, that will be the end of your journey if you declined it. If you decline that offer, your application will not be sent to the second choice for consideration. Okay, so that's number 1. That's very important. You choose 2 programs, but you're only being considered by your second choice if your first choice reject you. Number 2, not all programs accept second choice. Actually, most of the programs, they do not accept second choice, including business and science. What does it mean? If you choose, say, business as your first choice and science as your second choice, if you're being rejected by business and science already said we do not accept second choice, they will reject you right away. There won't be any consideration. So be very careful. Do not choose programs that do not accept second choice as your second choice. Okay, and it's also on the website. Let me find, that would be a good way to show you. Oh, that's right there. Okay, let me share, move back and forth to the website. So for example, this is BBA, this is Bachelor of Business Administration. Right on top, it says, for non-local or mainland student, the programs will not consider applicants who select this as their second choice. So this is how you find out whether the program accept or consider the second choice. Okay? All right. So going back to this. Next, qualifications, meaning requirements, right? So if you have kind of studied our website, you will know that we accept students, but we accept students from diverse background. We actually accept a very long list of qualifications, but all students have to meet both the entrance requirements and the English language requirements. Okay, that's the minimum. Everybody has to do that. And let's go to the website. You know what? Let's go to the website because that's where you will find out. So if you go to our website and then you scroll down to requirements, admissions requirements, actually you will see 3 tabs: university entrance requirement, English language requirement, and program entrance requirement. Now let's focus on the university entrance requirement first. You see there are many different patterns: American, Australia, British, but there are the other regional national examination, which is a long list according to alphabetical order. So do not just stop here and go, oh, I don't do IB and American, then I can't apply. It's not like that, okay? So for example, Nepal. See, Nepal is right there. So go through the list. Even if you are from a country that is far away from Hong Kong, do not assume that we do not accept or consider your qualifications, okay? So everyone will have to fulfill the university entrance requirement, and it is one of the following. So for example, if you see American pattern and it says SAT here, but you already attain like the Nepali qualification, you can use your Nepali qualification to apply. You don't have to take SAT. It's an either or situation. Okay, so you don't have to ask again whether SAT is compulsory because it depends on whether you have other qualifications that can meet the university entrance requirements. So that's number one. Number two, English requirements, right? So we do again accept a long list of tests, even for some national curriculum like Canada, Cameroon, Germany, India, Malaysia, and so on. So again, if you are considering to apply and you are not sure whether you meet the English requirement, go to this tab and read and see if you can find the test you have taken or plan to take is on this list. If the test you're taking is not on this list, it means that it is not being considered. Okay. Now there are some programs that might have program entrance requirements. For example, I mentioned it at the beginning: Chinese language and Chinese medicine or translation or music programs. They might have certain programs requirements, but only a few of them have that. So you can go and check it out. Most of our programs do not have subjects requirement. Okay, so these are the requirements part. And then scholarship requirements, of course. So many students are looking for scholarships, and we have scholarship baseline for some national and international qualifications. For example, for A levels, the scholarship baseline for a full scholarship would be 3 A's in 3 A level subjects, not including English or Chinese, and that would be the baseline. And for SAT applicants, then the minimum baseline for full scholarship is 1430. And for IB, that will be 37 out of 45. Having said that, all the baseline is for reference only, and our scholarship evaluation is holistic, meaning we will also look at the applicant's non-academic performance, personal attributes, and interview performance. And at the end of the day, all award is subject to competition and availability. So if you are interested in seeking for a scholarship, then well, first work on your academic performance, but also work out your, sharpen up your interview skills or put together a comprehensive resume that show us your non-academic performance. That will help as well. Okay, we talk about timeline, talk about the programs, qualifications, required documents is always a pain and always a very tricky thing. So I divide it into two category, like not two groups of students. This page is for the final year high school students. If you are going to graduate soon or next summer and you plan to enter HKBU in September 2026, that's you. You are in your final year, right? Okay, so if you are in this group, we definitely need your passport copy because we have to identify whether you are a non-local, non-Chinese, non-mainland, non-NLM, non-local, non-mainland students. So you are a non-Hong Kong or Chinese passport holder. And because we have different admission route, and we have to make sure that students apply to the right route. So we need your passport copy. If you are in the process of applying for one, or if you're renewing your passport, you can first upload your old passport copy or your national ID copy. But at the end, we do need your passport copy before we can issue an offer if your application is successful. We definitely need your latest transcript, which is your school report card. Some schools provide from grade 9 or above, some grade 10 or above. It depends on individual schools. We are open to the format, it's fine. The more information you provide, maybe it will give the faculty member a better understanding of your progress and of your, of your potential. But typically, we receive schools that provide transcript from grade 10 onwards. And if you apply in the early round or even early in the main round, it is very common that students only have their exam result from last year because you haven't taken your first exam in your final year, right? Which is very common. And it's the majority of the applicants, so you will not be disadvantaged. Don't worry about this. We will evaluate you based on your latest transcript, and we do give offer, conditional offer for sure because you haven't graduated. But it could come with a scholarship as well if you are competitive enough. So do not worry too much about this. If you are from a school that operates from January to December, then you would probably have your first time exam result, which is great, but you also do not need to wait until you get your final exam result to apply. It is fine for us to use whatever information is available at the time of application. If you are applying, if you are studying IB, then we will need your predicted grades. That is compulsory. If it is confidential to you, then your school can send it to us by email quoting your application number. Many of the A-level school also have predicted grades. Please do provide that as well. If this is available, that will be a big help for the faculty to evaluate your application for sure. Okay, but for the rest of the curriculum, if you do not, if your school do not provide predicted grades, it's completely fine as well. Don't worry about it. English test result, if you have them, go ahead and upload them. If you do not have them yet, but you have planned to apply or take a test, then let us know when do you plan to take the test. You can indicate the date that you plan to take the test on the application. And it is fine that at the time when you apply, we do not have your exact English test result at the time because most of our programs interview most of the applicants, and that will demonstrate your English proficiency for sure. And if you do not have your English test result ready at the time of application, then it will become one of the condition in your offer, and you can fulfill that condition later on. Usually, the condition offer fulfillment deadline will be around July. So you will have some time to take the test and submit the English test result later or when it's available. Now, when it comes to personal statement and recommendation letter, you will see that they are optional. They are really optional. That is why there is no guideline because it is not required. We do not provide guidelines on what to write, how should you write it, how many words, how many letters. We don't have guidelines, okay? And we do that because we want to be as inclusive as possible. Not every student has the access to counseling. And it doesn't mean that they should be disadvantaged in any way, right? But if you have teachers who want to support your applications and they want to give a recommendation to us on your applications, they are welcome. So that's why it is optional. And same thing for personal statement is optional. But if you are seeking scholarship, then you are encouraged to submit one. But again, there is no guideline. Any other supporting documents are optional. And my suggestion is submit documents that is relevant to your applications and also provide them in a tidy manner, in the manner that will help us to easily understand or comprehend the meaning of these documents. One example, many students will upload numerous certificates of participation in various activities without any explanation. And many of them will be in abbreviations, like certificate of participation of AQBS competition. And we don't know what competition is that. We don't know the credibility. We don't know the scale. We don't know how important it is. We don't actually know what competition is that and how is it relevant to your application. So my suggestion is that if you wish to show us any of your non-academic performance, you might wish to organize them in a format of CV or resume. It could be very simple, just listing out what you have done. And then you can also put together in the same documents with the appendix of the certificate so that we can have an idea what you are referring to. And of course, if there is any abbreviation involved in the name, do translate that into like or explain that or give us the full name or a link of that competition or like a brief introduction or like a brief like a short description on what it is about, because otherwise it might not help much to your application. And also, if any of the documents that you submit is not written in English, especially for those that are your supporting documents, then please do provide English translation. If your transcript is not written in English, then we need a notarized English translation. So it could be notarized by a notary, or it could be like verified by a notary or by your own school with a stamp. If that is the case, at the time of the application, it will be suffice. And if your application is successful, by the time of enrollment, we will require further verification from either the exam body or from local education bureau and so on. So at the time of application, we will try to simplify the process, but we still need to have a verified English translation of your transcript. Okay? This is for the final year high school student. If you have graduated from high school, and it could be the case for many students, for example, in Myanmar, we have a lot of students who stop going to uni. They might be halfway through their degree program, or someone like a mature student who have graduated like 2 years ago, or someone who's taking a gap year. So you will be in this group, right? So the required documents for you will be, again, passport copy or national ID, then your high school graduation diploma. So that should consist of your graduation diploma and your last transcript, the official transcript that comes with the diploma that shows, your final exam result. If you have taken any public or national or standardized test, please submit that as well. If you have studied at any post-secondary institution, please provide us with the latest transcript of your study there. If there is more than one, then provide us with all the transcript at all the post-secondary institutions that you have studied at. Same thing for English test result. You can submit that if it's available, or you can submit that later. And same thing for personal statement recommendation and supporting documents. And again, if the documents are not in English, then translate them into English and have it verified by either a notary or ask your alma mater to issue an official documents for you. This is very common for graduates. You can go back to the institution and ask them for an official documents. So this will be for the high school graduates. Portfolio. So some programs require portfolio. These are the programs usually related to creative arts, but some also for like business administration and global entertainment or arts and technology, individualized major, they will also ask for portfolio. Now, you do not have to upload your portfolio onto the application. Your application will be forwarded if they meet the, they are being reviewed and they are considered eligible. We will forward them to the faculty and schools, and they will shortlist students and they will invite the shortlisted applicants to submit their portfolio. It is usually on a separate platform, and they will also give you some guidelines on what is to be expected. So you do not need to have your portfolio ready when you submit the applications through our online application system. Shortlisted students will be invited and will be given specific instructions. Okay. All right, the applications. I want to go to the applications with you because, at the end of the day, that's where you have the headache. So let's go to the application system. So here you go. Now, this is our application system. Before you open an account, I strongly recommend that you go to guidelines. This is extremely important. I know it looks boring, lots of words, but I mean, this is a very important decision. So please do read the guidelines first before you head to anywhere, before you proceed to any other steps in the process, okay? And then you can also always consult the demo, because we actually go to prepare like a really a step-by-step, page-by-page, blank-by-blank guide for you. So go to the demo, how to fill this and that, how to choose your study year, how to choose the program. We already have a screen cap and direction here. So please do read this, and then go and sign up when you feel ready. Now, when you are going to sign up, you have to choose. There's only one thing to choose, so you can get wrong. So this is the test account that I was working on. So when you go to sign up, it should be easy, right? Just signing up. That's, you sign up a lot of things throughout the week. I'm sure, we do this a lot of time, but still, I must remind you first, remember your password. I know it's silly, right? But there are still students who got confused by all this different system and then forget about their password. And even when they chose forgot password, it still doesn't work. So mark down your password and do not send yourself an email that says, this is my password. No, don't do that. That's not safe. Write it down. If you ask me, write it down or write down somewhere. So your password, and secondly, your email address. Now, this can be a problem, especially for those who are from school that runs between January and December. It happens quite often. When a student from a school that runs from January to December use your school email address to apply, your email address might not work afterwards, but we will only continue to email you using that address. So when you are applying, if you are opening an account, make sure that you're using an email address that will be valid all the way until at least next September. That's number one. Number two, use the one that you actually check, because it's extremely important that you reply to our email timely. Anything about your application will go to this email address, including invitation to interview. If you're being shortlisted or if we are asking for any additional documents, it will go to this email address. Only use your own email address. Please do not use someone else's email address. I cannot stress it enough. Every year we still have someone who uses my brother's email address, my mom, and we do not work with agent or third party. So do not let someone else submit your application. Do not do that. Use your own email address, an email address that you will actually check, and we will only send email regarding your application. We will only send email to this email address. And having said that, I also, on this note, I also want to highlight that we will only communicate with the applicant about the application. So we will not answer questions from parents or teachers unless we have the consent, written consent from the students themselves, from the applicants themselves. Okay, so opening an account, that's easy. You've done that. Then you can start your application. You will actually receive an email system from the system to verify your email address. You do that, and then you can log in to this system and start choosing. So we mentioned programs before. Study year, if you are a final year high school student or you have just graduated 1 year before, you are only qualified for year one study. Okay, you are only qualified for year one admission. Please do not choose year three. Don't do that. It's almost always year one. I mean, really, I can't think of any exception. So choose year one, and then you can choose a program here. And please remember what I said about broad base. So some of the programs like science, business, arts and social sciences, and communication, they are all on broad base. So if you are into anything, any concentration under BBA, choose year one BBA. That's what you do. Okay. Now I have chosen one of my first choice, BBA. Maybe I can choose a second choice. Let's go for, let's see, let's go for science. Should I? No, I should not, because science they don't consider second choice. So that's also a tricky thing. So check whether the second choice accepts second choice. Okay, for now, I will just choose BBA. Next. Yes. Okay. So these are personal particulars. Again, it should not be difficult, right? Because you just come, I mean, you know your name, but indeed that could be tricky. Now, when you fill in your name, it should be identical to the one shown on your passport. If what is shown on your passport is different from your national ID, then go back to your passport. Okay? It should be the same as the one that is shown on your passport. If you're on your passport, you don't have a Chinese name, do not put in a Chinese name. Do not Google translate your name. We get a lot. Don't do that. It's not necessary. Only put down the name that is shown on your passport. Okay? Are you a local student? Now, if I have made myself clear at the beginning, all of you here would be non-local students, which means you need a visa to study in Hong Kong. Okay? If you don't need a visa to study in Hong Kong, you'll be a local student, then this might not be the best webinar for you. So I believe most of you are like a student who need a visa to study in Hong Kong. If you're not sure, if you're in the process of applying to permanent residency to Hong Kong, or if you are any kind of Hong Kong visa holder, please check with the immigration, because it affects which admission route you should go to. And if you apply to the wrong route, if you get an offer, the admission offer could be reviewed or even revoked in some cases. So do not risk that. If you're not sure, check with the immigration. And also, if at the moment you are a non-local student that you need a visa to apply, but you know you are applying, you are in the process of applying for like permanent residency in Hong Kong, then please do let us know, because you would rather that we find out now than later, which might affect your chance of getting in. So don't do that. Okay, so let's be very transparent about this and keep us well informed, share all the information that we should have before we proceed. Okay. Correspondence, fine. Currently studying or residing overseas, it could be a no. If you are from Nepal and you are studying in Nepal, then no. Are you a Chinese speaking applicant? Now, I understand that Chinese popular culture has been very popular, like Chinese TV show. Many of the students, no matter where I go, there'll be students who say, I've been watching a lot of Chinese TV drama and I learned a lot of Chinese, or you learn Chinese on Duolingo, or you might even have a Chinese language partners online. But when we say, are you a Chinese speaking applicant, usually it means that it's your native language or you have been studying academically. And also, it doesn't really affect your application because for most of the program, unless you're applying for a program that requires Chinese proficiency. But other than that, it wouldn't be. So knowing a few Chinese will not classify you as a Chinese-speaking applicant. And also apply by qualification outside Hong Kong. Yes, I believe all of you will be saying yes, unless you are studying in Hong Kong. But even if I don't know, if you're in Hong Kong, then it will be a no. But for example, again, Nepal, if you are doing A level or IB in Nepal, then country or territory of the qualification obtained will be Nepal. It's not A level UK or IB America. No, it's Nepal, because that's where you will obtain such qualification. So this will be for personal particulars. And then highest qualification. Now, again, I thought it's very straightforward, because if you are a secondary school student still, then it will be here. Or even if you are a graduate student, but your highest qualification was like a high school graduation diploma, then it will be also under here. IB is right here, IB diploma. A level is right here, GCE level. But for some reason, every year, we still have a lot of IB students thinking that they are in higher diploma program, which is not true, or A-level students thinking that they are in post-secondary programs, which is also not true. So please choose the right option here accordingly. If you are, again, if you are from, for example, Nepal or any countries that we accept your national qualification, just choose other regional national curriculum. Okay. Now, if you are really someone who are studying in a post-secondary institution, then do look at what is available down here. But for most of you, I believe actually 80% of the applicants, they are final year high school students or someone who has just graduated. So their highest qualification will always be under secondary school. Okay. Moving on, qualifications. Here, we need to know the year, and for some reason, there are many students who have no recollection on how many years they have studied in primary education, or they are not sure which years are considered primary education. In that case, I suggest that you check with your counselors, your high school teachers, or go to the website of your Ministry of Education in your country. Usually that will be very clear up there. And again, if you are a final year high school student, or you have just graduated from high school and you are not, or if anyone who have graduated from high school but have not studied in any post-secondary education, this should be blank. That should be nothing, not 0, not 1 or 2, just leave it blank, okay? And for secondary educations, we do need you to provide your information, the information on where you are studying right now. And you can choose from this pull down table the school. I would say Woodlands, because that's where we get lots of students over the years. And then level attended, grade 12, or DP, because it is an IB school, then they are in the diploma program. So it would be easy. I mean, this is just what it is. So go ahead with that. Again, final year high school student or a student who have just graduated from high school should not complete this part. IB students are not considered in post-secondary. Either IB or GCE A-level are not post-secondary education. Any of the A-level programs in, say, Pakistan, no, you are still in high school. That is not a post-secondary education. So do not get confused. For most of you, I would consider, I think all of you, you would not be writing anything here because it is only for those who are registered social worker applying for the Bachelor of Social Work. Then it is a must. For other applicants, most of the time, if you are final, again, high school student, high school graduates, you do not have anything you have to fill in here. Okay? All right, exam results. So choose the one that is applicable to your case. And if I'm an IB student, I will follow my story. I'm an IB student. And I will not take the exam until next year because I'm in my final year. So I will just put down the year that I will attempt the IB exam. But I will also put down my school code. If you don't know what that is, ask your teacher. And I will put down my personal code because it is required. So you can see the star sign here. These all three fields here are required for IB students. But if you are doing the local curriculum, you can choose other public exam here, and then you can type in the Nepal grade 12 exam, for example, and then you can put down the subject one by one, and you can add on the subjects that you will take, and then when we will take it, etc. Okay, you can see the English result, the English test is also here, English language qualification. So if you have not taken it yet, but you plan to do an IELTS, then you can also put like, okay, next year, January, I will do that. So you can see that the score is not compulsory, but this two exam and also year of attempt is required. Okay. Additional information, work experience is not required. Only if you think that is relevant to your application, then you're welcome to do so. But whatever information you are providing in your application, do be prepared to provide supporting documents. Okay. So if you are a final year high school student and you don't have any work experience, is fine. Majority of the students do not have work experience that is relevant to the program they are applying for at the age of 17 or 18, so it's completely fine. Personal statement, as I said, is optional. There is no guidelines. You can type it here, or you can upload it as a supporting document. Either way will do, no problem at all. And referee information. Now, this is something I also want to explain a bit. If you do want to submit recommendation letter, there are two ways. Well, number one, I must clarify again, it is not compulsory, but if you wish to, there are two ways. One, you can your referee has no problem giving you the recommendation letter, and you can upload them yourself under supporting documents. It's completely fine for us. Okay, as long as it's fine with the referee. Do not say that we ask you to do that. Only if they feel comfortable. Okay. But if they said no, they would prefer sending this to us. There is also two ways. They can either send it to us by email, quoting your application number, or you can fill in that information here under this session, and they will receive a notification, an invitation to send us their recommendation for you to our system. But they will only receive the notification after you submit the application. Now, if your referee already given you the letter, or they have promised to send us the letter by email, there is no need to fill in that information here, because that will be duplicate effort and they will be confused why I have done this, and the system invite them again. Okay, so either or, do not do everything together. It doesn't help that way. It will only delay the processing of your application because we are confused. We're not sure if everything is correct. Then we will put it on hold. So be very careful. So either your referee feel very comfortable to give you the letter, or they can email us the letter, or they said, you know what, let you fill in their information here, and after you submit an application, they will be invited to upload their recommendation to our system. Okay, but that will only happen after you submit the application. Okay, so that is the referee part. So supporting documents. Now, again, a lot of notes, and I strongly recommend that you read them. We also have more notes here because, again, if you do not submit, if you do not upload the required documents, even if you get past the system and you can submit the application, it will not be processed. It will only be a waste of time. Like many of the students, especially by the last day, right before the deadline, they go, yeah, whatever, just rush through the application, upload a blank document, get past the system, and said, I made it. But in fact, once the deadline closed for the early round, when we read the application, when it's not complete, it will not be processed. We will only be able to process them if the required documents are here. So don't waste your time. And then don't lead yourself into disappointment because you thought, oh, I made it to the deadline, that's it. It's not that. A complete application is important. It's the key, actually. If it is not complete, then no use of that. So read very carefully the notes. I will have some, I mean, these are the notes that we want to share with you, but I do strongly recommend all of you to be very cautious with the file name. I mean, every time we look at the supporting documents, they are either like scan document 1C64556, like with a serial number, or .1, .2, .3, or with the same name, your name, and then A, B, C, D, E. It really doesn't help. So name your file, and it goes all the way, not just for college admission, like anything. When you have a file, name them meaningfully. If it is a transcript, then your name and the transcript. If it's your passport, your name and the passport. Anyone who got that file or look at your list, they will know, well, first, you're very organized. Second, easily locate whatever information we need. And if we can quickly check your application, of course, it could be processed quickly, right? And you want that. At the end of the day, you want to be looked at as soon as possible. So name your file meaningfully. Okay, that is really my personal tips. At the end, you will be reading the declaration and then settle the application fee. We only accept online payment. If you have any problem paying the application fee, I strongly recommend that you talk to your counselor and your school first. And it doesn't have to be yourself. Actually, I don't think any 17, 18-year-old will have a credit card. So it could be your family friends or family members or your teacher, as long as you can come up with an agreement or settle the payment and all that. So this is the end. If everything is complete, then you click submit, and that will be it. We do not provide need-based application fee waiver, but if your school is one of the selected school for the school HKBU school nomination scheme, then your teacher will have 2 quotas to nominate outstanding students that they find suitable, and those students could apply with an application fee waiver. Okay, so going back to my PowerPoint, I think I'm finishing. Right, we're coming to the last bit, almost the last part of it. Tips and advice. Number 1, reading is the first step to success, really. When I go through the application with you, there are lots of notes. I know there are a lot of words, but they are to help you to complete the application in the best way. So do not skip them, okay? If you read them, it will help you for sure to do a better application. And if you have a better application, that's the first step to being considered for admission and scholarship, right? So do that. Read instructions. Read our website. Read our application guidelines, okay? Number 2, proofread, proofread, proofread. And I'm not just saying that you should proofread your personal statement. So many students spend tons of time working on their personal statement, scratching their head, reading them 500 times, having 500 apps to scrutinize that. But they will spell their name wrong, spell their school names wrong, spell anything that they thought unimportant wrong on the application. And it shows that you do not pay attention to details, that you do not read instruction, that you're not focused, and you don't want that. So not just your personal statement. Read everything you submit, you fill in your application. Okay? Now for the scholarship, no separate application is required. If you would like to be considered for the admission scholarship, then just apply. Competitive applicants will be considered automatically, and that will be it. Okay, so do not look for the application for scholarship. Program choices cannot be changed after submission. It is non-negotiable. Once your application is submitted, this is it. So think very carefully before you submit your application. Do not expect to change them after submission. Okay? The last one, however, is a good news and something that the students always miss, even though we tell them. You are able to add documents after a submission. So if at the time of application, you don't, for example, the English test result, that you don't have it yet, you can upload that later. Just let us know once it's available, like, oh, why I've added something. Email us, holding your application number and say, I have added something recently, so that we can alert the faculty and they will decide whether they will consider the documents or whether they're useful. Okay, but you can continue to add documents. You cannot change what you have submitted. So your program choice, you cannot change. Any fields that you have filled, you have completed, you cannot change them. The documents you have uploaded, you cannot delete them, but you can add documents. Okay, so if we ask you, if we contact you and say, something is missing, please add that documents to your application, do it yourself. Upload them. Don't email that documents. Upload them and tell us, I have completed what you have asked me to, so that we can continue to process your application. Okay? Okay, what happened after submission? A complete application will be reviewed. So obviously, if it's complete, then, and as I said, if you make your file name more meaningful, it can help us to review them quickly. And if you submit all the required documents that we've asked you to, then we can quickly identify this as a complete application, and also whether it is eligible, that it meets or fulfill our minimum entrance requirements. Then we will pass it on to the faculty or school or programs to review. And they will shortlist students for interview. So it will always be the faculty to invite the applicants for interview. So the email invitation will be from them. And if that's why I said, do use the email address that you actually check, hopefully every day, because time matters, right? And also given the time difference, when you check it, it might already like a day or a day and a half later. So if you receive an invitation to interview, read the instruction carefully and reply to confirm that you will attend. Whether they ask you to, you should always do that. Out of courtesy or whatnot, you should do that, okay? But if the date and time proposed clash with something, for example, your exam at school or your public exam, or you'll be away, you can let the faculty know. Just tell them by replying to that email, so that they can consider your situation or ask for supporting documents, and they can make the decision whether they will make alternative arrangement. But do not just ghost on them. Don't just absent and then afterwards say, oh, I'm sorry, whatever. Or can you arrange again? It's not a must. Actually, given the competition, some programs will reject students right away if they are absent for the interview. Okay, so please be very cautious when you read the invitation to interview. And here are some tips as well. Do pay attention to the time difference. Honestly, every year, I don't know why. I mean, there are so many apps online to help do the time and day convert. But still, every year there'll be students who miss the interview because of time difference. And you know, when they write it and said, I missed it because I calculated time wrong, I am not sure how would a faculty feels about that, because it is pretty basic. So do pay attention to the time and calculate the time difference early on, okay? And also for where or how you take the interview, if it's possible, try to consult with your teacher and see if you can do it at school, because I would think in most cases, at school you will have better connection, more stable connection, and also find a room or a space that is actually quiet without people yelling and shouting at the background, because you want to, that is the moment when you shine, and also let the faculty understand where you're coming from, who you are, and why you deserve the admission or even a scholarship. So you want to be in the place where you can actually show your true self in your best way. Okay, so these are my tips for interview. If your application is successful, what will happen? Okay, if your application is successful, you will receive an offer via email. So it's actually an offer notification telling you that you are given an offer. You can check the offer details on the offer letter that is downloadable from the application system. So the same system logged in, and you will see the offer letter there. If your application is successful, you will be given 2 weeks time, 2 weeks time to pay an admission confirmation fee to secure your spot. It is 10,000 Hong Kong, which is around 1,300 US dollars. And that is a must for all, whether your offer is firm or condition with or without scholarship. Okay, so that is how you can confirm the acceptance of your offer. That the confirmation fee here is what I'm referring to, the admission confirmation fee. And once you settle that fee, then you'll be considered an admittee. Even if you are a conditional offer holder, you'll be considered an admittee, and we will start assisting you in preparing your student visa application. And we will try to do it as early as possible because Hong Kong is welcoming a big number of international students or non-local students, and the immigration is having a lot of increasing workload, and the processing time has become more lengthy than before. So in order for you to get your student visa timely for the commencement of the semester, we will try to help you with the visa application as soon as possible, usually in March. Okay? And during the period between March to August, before you arrive in Hong Kong, we will also design different online events for new students to prepare you for your arrival in Hong Kong and your student life, your university life as a year one student at HKBU. So this is what happened. This is the end of my presentation. I hope it helps you to have a better idea on how to prepare a complete application. If you have any questions, number one, go to our website, study it thoroughly. Do not just scroll down, study our website. Go to our online application system and read the guidelines and instruction. And at the end, you are always welcome to email us.